we're up bright and early again today, aren't we?
It is bright.
We're going to Foy.
Yeah.
But none of us slept very well last night because somebody on board, one of the three of us got up, how many times in the night? 4 times, Josh, was it? Then he got up. 4 times to have a pee. I mean, and most of us maybe would refrain from washing our hands because of that of the pump. I think I heard that pump going in the night as well, wasn't it, Josh?
Yeah, every time.
What have you got yourself with? Say for yourself.
I think, as a 17-year-old, for those of you of my kind of age, you'll understand the medical ramifications of age. I think 4 times in a night is actually, that's quite modest.
4 times is modest?
That is modest, and what I can tell you is it's primarily down to Horlicks, because the other nights we've had drink that basically is not a diuretic, but clearly Horlicks is a diuretic, and that's what I blame.
Well, is there anybody listening to this that's approaching 70 or maybe over 70, maybe you could let us know if 4 times, 5 times is normal in the night. I suspect I know what's going to be
this is very nice, and I don't think people want to hear about it.
It wasn't very nice, Josh, was it?
No, it was rude and inappropriate.
Goodbye, lovely Falmouth. Heading to Foy. I have to say, after falling in the drink off my paddleboard yesterday, it gives me absolute delight to hang my underpants off of his guardrails.
It is disgusting. It's horrible. He's used my bright little bird clothes pegs to hang up his filthy underwear. Tell him how many pairs you brought for 9 days.
9 pairs.
You told me you brought 2.
I said minimum 2. Everybody needs minimum 2 underpants. One for the day you leave, one for the day you get back.
For a minute.
So we're heading between the mainland and Gull Rock. You can see just there next to Josh. Once again we're making no progress on Cool Runnings. The jellyfish are overtaking us. But it is a pleasant fishing stop, I must say. Literally, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. We've got Josh fishing. The Olivers have got loads of fishing gear but never catch a fish. Dave's doing a routine maintenance stop, and I'm just Billy No Mates stuck between this.
Billy Lazy again.
Lovely view I've got here. It's really some beautiful scenery around the Cornish coastline. Dodman's Point on the nose, then we'll bear away a little and head a bit north round a couple of headlands is Mevagissey. We may stick our nose into Mevagissey before popping across to Foy. How's it going, fellas?
Well, I hate to break this news to you, and it is breaking news. My bosun here was so distressed with the quality of stitches you've just put in, he's undone them all.
Anyway, this is the Cornish coast. It's lovely. Foy or Foy, Olruan on the right. What you got there, Josh?
Got what we like to refer to as the West Coast stick. It's useful for picking up mooring buoys that don't have pickup buoys on.
Yes, it's fairly common in the West Country that they don't, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to go for that one just there, Josh.
Right. It's a clever contraption that's not actually fully attached. So as you come up to the buoy, there will be a metal O-ring, and you push this on, and the O-ring will slip through, and then when you pull it off, it should break free there, and and you end up with a line around
Yeah.
the metal ring. In theory.
And you've attached our mooring line to the yellow
Yep.
line.
Using the double sheet bend.
So D, every I think it's every night or every other night. Look at what Josh serves up. This is before dinner. This is a before dinner treat.
It's rude to honour your own son on a YouTube channel, but he does serve incredibly well.
He's
So,
quite the chef, isn't he?
although I would just like to say, I grated that cheese, all of it, myself, and put the jalapenos. No, I didn't. He put the jalapenos, and I did tell him to get it out the oven.
Yeah, thanks Dave. Josh, it was all Dave's doing this. It's really good of him, isn't it? This is stunning steaks provided by Josh, and I will show you the finished result in how long?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Great. What are they, Josh?
They are 100-day dry-aged T-bone steaks.
Aberdeen Angus. There's your creams. So we've agreed we're going to save the Mars 2 and the baby corn for tomorrow's stir fry, yeah?
Yeah.
There's 3 of us, so Josh.
I know, I don't know what Dad's going to have.
Look what I just found, 6 foot down. Mr. Oliver's a lucky boy, a new paddle. So I'll get him to bring me out here in a couple of hours' time in his dinghy and I'll dive down for him. He's jammy, isn't he?
Dad, what are we doing here?
Well, I hate to say this, but first time since I've known him, he's actually been useful and observant.
So what have you found for us, Dave?
Look at it, no, look at his grin. No, look at that.
This is points me. Silence.
That
This is
is a
points me.
sinister grin.
When we
masked
left,
with pleasantness.
as you know, when we left for this trip, he lost yet another oar. We're on his 3rd set of oars in 3 years. He lost another oar. I'm paddling out here in my paddleboard and I pass over a paddle about 6 or 7 feet down. So I've offered to dive in for him.
I have to say, I'm almost moved to deep emotion and gratitude, but I'll save it till we see if it's actually any use to me first.
All right, here we
He's
go.
going in. Josh, I think we need to start with 3 cheers. Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip! Hooray!
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
Wow, goodbye Foy. Black skies come in someone's way. Just left Foy and he's making breakfast down there, and I washed up last night and I left a little bit of asparagus in the corner of the frying pan, and I know sometime in the next couple of hours he's going to raise that on camera, so I'm just letting you know. And the reason is he demands that we have no lights on. He lives by candles, and you can't see the washing up properly, so it's definitely not my fault. So when it comes up, there's the story in advance without any bias.
If you ever have the misfortune to have rebettes on your boat, do not on any account let him do your washing up. You will end up doing it 2 or 3 times over, because not only is it a very poor job, its filth contaminates other already clean vessels, which we've now had to clean. Enough said.
Didn't take long, did it? Heading for the Yealm.
We are.
I think it's bypassed by many, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done it a few times. I think it's a stunning anchorage, actually. Very quiet. The challenge is not much to do on shore. You can get ashore and have a walk, but beautiful scenery, which no doubt we'll see shortly.
There is a nice pub. There is a very nice pub that you could take your dinghy to. It dries, but we're getting there at high tide.
Yeah,
So maybe first thing we should do is
check it out.
go and get some refreshment.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the Yealm on the chart. Clear the Mewstone if you're coming from the west, and then you've got to stay south of the bar. And there are leading marks to guide you in through the narrow entrance, but there's plenty of depth, and you can. It's a lovely river to anchor in with steep wooded sides. Quite beautiful. Great Mewstone and Little Mewstone. We've got to keep that 50 metres to the north of us, then we'll round that and head into the river. Amazing piece of rock, the Mewstone. You can see the River Yealm is starting to open up, the entrance just behind it here. Fish on. Dinner for three, Josh, do you think? Dinner for three, dinner for three, dinner. Oh.
Mackerel, anyone? Established knot.
Ready, Dee?
Yep, ready to go. Okay.
Greek platter, yeah? Very pleasant, the swan in. And we're away! So the Yealm turned into a lunch stop then, boys?
Yeah, well, it's a long story, but it's a long journey.
The reason we've decided to leave early and not stay overnight is we've got some wind at last, so we can sail. We can eventually sail to the Salcombe.
Underpants flapping in the wind.
Look, we've never seen that before, have we? Never seen this.
1 hour of sailing. 5 days, 1 hour of sailing.
I bet you we get out there, Josh, and it'll die on us. But we're hopeful. Bang on the transit, Joshua, bang on the transit. At last we have some sailing. We are looking forward to this. We're actually sailing! Whoa! The wind's come out! Moaning at now then, Dave?
He says to you, and you probably believe that we've been sailing all day, it's lovely. He's just been asleep for 2 hours, which is the entirety of the sailing leg. We popped into Yealm for an overnight, saw there was a bit of wind, the only wind saleable in the entire week, and off we trotted.
We've had this discussion already, yeah.
Oh, have we?
That's happy. That should make us happy. Why is it making you so blue?
Well, only because you said we've been sailing all day. It's
Wow,
lovely.
all leg.
Gross exaggeration. 2 hours.
Come on, Sat. Where's the last bit of the trip? Always the longest. The last mile seems to take the longest, doesn't it? Salcombe is appearing.
Taking sun cream, there's some mind off.
So all is peaceful sailing into Salcombe. Nothing's gonna miss us it. Nothing's gonna ride, boys.
Well, it was quite interesting. We wished we'd recorded it for you, but first of all, Dave and I say to Josh, you keep going under Jenny because he's desperate to sail in. We'll try and take the sail down with the wind
The mainsail.
on our stern. Well, that didn't go at all well. It jammed in the lazy jack. So then we round up into wind. We start letting the sail down and it jams again on something. We can't work out what it's jammed on until we finally discover the topping lift is caught in the little jam cleat on the leech of the mainsail. Never happened before, never seen it happen before. But anyway, all was resolved and here we are sailing in luxury prose.
Basically, it's a couple of yacht masters, and it was an absolute fiasco. It was embarrassing because look at the houses, they were witnessing this absolute nonsense.
As the RNLI boat.
Yeah, and the RNLI boat was passing. I mean, it's shameful what we just went through there. Self-inflicted shame. Well, we came past every boat, and where's Frogmore Creek over there? And with the last anchored boat till you get to Kingsbridge in the distance. Lovely evening. peaceful. Well, that is a lovely end to a day, isn't it?
Wow.
What do you think, boys?
I think it's stunning. Sounds as if it's something people are interested in, as if it's something.
Yeah, well, what happened
extraordinary.
is that after I'd gone anyway, they decided, oh no, let's go up top and let's watch the sun and have a little tip, have a little drinky.
The sun was well set. It was the stars we were watching.
Yeah, stars.
That's why we don't invite you for these sorts of discussions.
Thanks for the invite, boys. So we're leaving. Where are we? Salcombe.
Cut-off point.
Another early start. Water and fuel in these ridiculous hats. It's a shaming moment, don't you think? It was supposed to make us look good, but so far it hasn't worked, has it? Well, good morning, Salcombe, and there's nobody up to watch the fiasco that we tend to create.
Can we have confessions?
I did. Either Mr. Oliver's still wearing it and he's in trouble. They're a hardy bunch in Salcombe. Praw point, start point in the distance, Josh.
Yeah.
And then across Lyme Bay. What did you think of the Heron Inn in
Pass. Josh and I were reflecting on it last night, and part of the challenge is we do eat very well on board. So you're comparing good food on board with food ashore. We both came away saying the tapas in Foy, was it?
No, that
Foy
was in Dartmouth.
In Dartmouth was probably a really great experience. We said the Heron was a moderate experience, quite expensive for what it was. Starter was very nice, the main was a bit average. So that was our kind of view on that. Josh, any contributions to that?
Starter was very good.
Yeah.
Starter was actually one of the best things we've eaten all week. It was, what was it? It was that chorizo
Scotch egg.
chorizo Scotch egg. That was to die for, that.
Yeah.
Really good job on that one.
And then yesterday we had flatbread and messing.
So this is the Swan Inn
at Newton Ferrers, or Newton.
on the River Yealm.
On the River Yealm. A good plus point there is the harbour master's a lovely chap, doesn't charge you for a lunchtime stay on a pontoon, so we found. So that was good.
We did have our lines away and we were off, and he might have been being kind to us.
Well, he was kind, so yeah, I thought that was very good for us.
So we got Start Point fine on the port bow, and Start Point got its name from the first mariners crossing the Atlantic didn't consider that they'd started their voyage until they'd crossed this particular point. Hence the name Start Point. Half off the bill. We've had a great journey, and we have got something special coming up.
We do. I believe it's a B&C connector, isn't it, Josh?
Oh, we want to talk about that. You really want to talk about that? You really want to talk about this?
Josh got a bit grumpy.
Josh, and 5 o'clock's coming up. We'll have a treat at 5.
Yeah,
little
so
treat.
what we discovered on this journey wasn't a huge discovery. Number one, we just had another whole pod of dolphins, 2 of them, 2 pods, just wonderful. I'm sure you'll see some of those on the clips in a moment, but we've determined that every time we have a little bit of food or a little bit of drink, it energizes us for the brutality of the relentless long haul nature of these legs. So 5 o'clock is G&T time. Woo woo.
Well, we're a wee bit early round the bill. We got 3.6 knots punching us round. So Mr. Oliver is looking for pots, submerged pots as we go round. That was about 3 minutes of frenetic energy and it was all over, wasn't it? No pots that we could see that were submerged. It's all quite benign, really. Can't believe it. I get up at 5:30, 5:45 for a pee, and I hear a whisper from his cabin, Dave! Dave! I think we should go now. We got a few hours of positive tide with us. So here I am. Up, started the engine, and it's not even up yet. Look, it's foggy today. We're going to have to fight our way through the fog. Poor old Josh is trying to get some sleep down there. Engine's running. What have we learnt today?
Well, apparently, I've been doing my rolling here incorrectly. So I have been teachable and I have basically readjusted my technique. And talking about being teachable, Joshua here has been castigating the two of us for keep putting the motor on instead of sailing. Unfortunately for us, fortunately for him, it's actually worked out. We've been able to sail almost since Swanage Bay. In fact, just before Swanage Bay. Whereas the
Just
truth
coming
is,
through the trap.
yeah, we're about to go into the trap. We can see it dead ahead. It's like boys laid out in it, by the way. So yeah, we've learned that we really should try and dust off the sail covers a bit more often.
Welcome home. Sailing up the Bewley with an easterly wind. That doesn't happen very often, does it?